Hello, and welcome to the American Association of Geographers Annual Meeting presentation. I am Hannah Gress. Okay, so a quick overview of the American Association of Geographers. Their vision is a world that uses the power of geography to understand its deepest problems and realize its most daring hopes. And, their mission, you can see that on their webpage. They want to bring together geographers from across the globe, and they aim to create a space where geographers of all types are given a voice to speak. And that because the only way we can really understand the world's problems is to listen to the people living in it. Okay, so the annual meeting for 2022 was February 25th through March 1st. It consisted of more than 4,500 presentations, posters, workshops, and field trips by leading scholars, experts, and researchers. The attendees discussed the latest in research and applications in geography, sustainability, and GIS science. There was a little bit something for everyone in there. It was also, you could attend virtual or actually in person. It was hosted in New York. So the layout, there's different sessions, and you can see all of this on their webpage. I put a link there, which I'll try and put in the comments under the YouTube video. But it's like 559 pages, and it's all of the presentations, like how long each one ran. And they're divided up into sessions, and each session lasts about 80 minutes. There's different session types. There's virtual paper, virtual panel, virtual poster, virtual lighting paper, and virtual guided paper. Each session is staged about 20 minutes apart, and they run throughout the day. Each session has a topic and consists of multiple presentations that fall within that topic. And they have a number of presentations. There are multiple tracks at the annual meeting that all gear toward each track gears toward a specific topic. So the history of the AAG Annual Meeting. AAG was founded on December 29th, 1904. Since then, it has always hosted an annual meeting. Traditionally, they're hosted somewhere between February to April and typically last 4 to 5 days. They attract somewhere between 7,000 to 9,000 attendees. It's extremely diverse topics ranging from soil moisture to population dynamics to geography and militarism, and so much more. The annual meeting hosts an extensive exhibit hall that features publishers, technology companies, universities, businesses, and nonprofit organizations. So to attend it, this was for this past one. This is for the virtual registration. You can see it's not exactly cheap, but it's for the non-members. It's not cheap at all. And then you can. There's different variations, different like students, non-students, member, non-member, and this is for the actual in-person ones. And you see that the prices are way up. Like there's a non-member can go up to $550, and like a 1-day pass is $125. So if you wanted to create a membership with AAG on their website, you can. You go through the basic steps. You create your profile. You choose the membership that's relevant to you. So in my case, I picked undergraduate. And then there's your communication preferences, more basic membership stuff, and then the cost of the basic membership is $38 for undergraduate. But what's really cool is that you can do these add-ons. There's affinity group, which is private, public sector, standalone, graduate student, and then there's these specialty groups, and these are really cool because there's so many different kinds, and they all range in prices. There's disability, ethics, justice, and human rights, Canadian studies, cartography, more specialties, geomorphology, legal geography, population, socialist and critical geography, water resources. It's all really cool, like all these different types that you can select from, and they range from $0 to about $5 in addition to your membership fee. And then these associate memberships, I don't know what, I guess if you're a part of this association, you can add on. So I wanted to show you guys just how different the sessions were, just how diverse the topics were. And I have the title of the session, and then I have the titles of the presentations. And each presentation had, they varied in time. The posters they took no time. They had 0 minutes down for there. But most of the presentations averaged about 15 minutes. Some were shorter, some were longer, but they averaged about 15 minutes. I just want to show you how diverse the annual meeting is. Like, there's something for everyone there. This first one is Trees in the City, Socio-Ecological Dynamics in the Urban Forest. The presentations were Seasonal and Interannual Drought Responses in Urban Vegetation in Santa Barbara, California. Monitoring Urban Forest Change in a Metropolitan Region in the Pacific Northwest, USA. Fighting Food Insecurity in the City, What Role for Street Trees? Planning Urban Parks to Improve Equity and Resilience to Hot Weather Events in the Pacific Northwest. And Bringing the Environment into Environmental Justice, a critical literature synthesis and framework for holistic environmental justice in urban forestry. Here's the next one I included. Infrastructure, Logistics, and Space, from Historical GS to Local Impacts. And here were the presentations. You can see that the amount of presentations, they differed for each session. That past one had 6, this one has 2. And they are Resilience of Heavy Rail Networks with Multiple Routes and Hubs, and an analysis of the evolution of warehouses located from 2012 to 2019 in major U.S. consolidated statistical areas. New Insights of Warehousing Spatial Patterns. Here's the next presentation I chose. Collaborations, Contributions, and Experiences in Education. And these were the presentations. The National Atlas of Korea, A New Approach. Contribution of John Daniel Gross to American Geography. African Diasporic Collaborations in Geographic Education. First Generation Latin Student Experience and the COVID University. And Counting COVID Cases in Counties with College Campuses. This is the next session, Retail and Business Geography. And these were the presentations. The Rise of Dollar Stores in Canada, Retail Customer Response to COVID-19, a Denton, Texas case study, Cross-Border Shopping, the Effect of COVID-19 on Border Town Retail, the Integrated Supply of Retail and Logistics Services after COVID-19, and Retail Landscapes and Fashion Retail Work after COVID-19. The next session is Geographies of the Missing and Disappeared, and the presentations were Drowned Towns, Submerged Archives, and the Myth of Universal Progress, and Unraveling the Thin Blue Line, Policing as an Engine of Dispossession. This is the last session I chose to include, Infrastructural Imaginaries and Aesthetics, Infrastructuring Past, Presents, and Futures. These were the presentations. Rainbow Infrastruggles of LGBTQS Imaginaries, Surplus Spatial Aesthetics of Suburban Sexuality, Greenhouse Imaginaries and the Development of Urbanizing Frontiers in the Era of Climate Change, Beyond Infrastructural Form, Approaches to the Encounters between Architecture and Infrastructure, and Monumentalization, Infrastructure, and Post-Industrial Imaginary. As you can see, there's so many different types of sessions, so many different types of presentations. There's literally something for everything. There's 559 pages that's just like lists of the sessions and the presentations. It doesn't get into anything else. It's just what was the presentation title and who said it and what session did it belong to. And there's literally something for everyone there. Well, thank you guys for listening. The AAG seems really, really cool, and if I thought I could make it to the meetings, I would definitely get a membership there. But if you feel like you might be able to do something like that someday, then I would encourage you to get a membership. It just seems really cool. There's a lot of different specialties, and it's a great, like, I guess, networking uh, way to network within your field. It's just really cool to know the specialties that are there. The only sources I used were the AAG website itself and the Wikipedia page on the AAG, specifically the annual meeting section. So I hope you guys, I know it's probably kind of boring hearing all the sessions and presentations, but I hope you guys at least, heard something that was interesting to whatever field you're specifically interested in. And thanks again.